Oh, it's just nice and warm out today. Nice and warm out. No, we actually got some sun today though, so the snow was like a foot thick on this. Other than the sun being in my eyes, this is quite nice. I had a silly story trying to follow that trend. I was in the truck the other day trying to do the video, and it just didn't work out in the truck. But it kind of made me think more of it. A little while ago, some of the videos we were talking about like obsessions and addictions and things like that. And my dad was always very bored. He always needed something to do. Even when he had something to do, he still needed other things to do. It was a weird cycle. But the worst thing that could be happening, other than having no money, was having money. Because if he had money, he had to go do things. He couldn't sit on any money, because that meant that he could go do something with that money. And if there was nothing to immediately do or buy, he would go find something to do or buy. With cigars, I don't have a scotch on me right now, but I started smoking cigars with my best friend, early 20s. There was a convenience store. It's closed down now. He was like the only guy in the city. He had a proper humidor. He would sell pipes, things like that, but he'd buy really nice cigars, like Cohibas, Cazadors, $25-30 a smoke. It's expensive enough, you know what I mean? So we would go there all the time. And then up on the reserve, there's a gas station, but they've also got like a convenience store area, right? Well, they have a huge humidor. It's huge. It's like a wardrobe almost. It's all glass. It's wonderful. There's hundreds in it, probably thousands. And about 10 years ago, 2014, they had really good stock, like Monte Cristos, Churchills, Cohibas, Siglos, things like that. $25-30, $40 a smoke. I really like the Monte Cristos. So anyway, my dad always needed to blow money, and the more expensive it was, the more interested it would excite him. He's like, oh, this is great. So he, in his own boredom, took on that habit of mine, which wasn't even really a habit at that time, funded it, made it both of our addictions. He loved buying them for me, and I loved smoking them. So the things that we would get up to, we'd get paid, 12 grand would come in US every month for quite a while. You're sitting on $12,000 in one lump sum. So what do? You go blow it, of course. Why not? I don't save it or anything. So we would go out and driving around, we'd be gathering materials. This is when we were a little bit more coordinated as well. We were really onto some really cool stuff with EMR Pod, Godlight, Achilles, especially Achilles. That was a huge one. So we were doing that. So we go out for a few hours, buying materials and this and that. We'd always stop for lunch. He loved doing that too. He's like, we got to go out for lunch. So of course, why not? Have a beer or two, go out for lunch, get back to doing it. But of course, one of my favorite parts was when the old man would blow money on cigars. So we go up to the reserve there. Man, $400 or $500 a go, just shelling out money, and he loved it. He loved the idea of buying a cigar, and the cigar was $30, and he's like, I could get a carton of smokes for that much. You know what I mean? Or like that one cigar is worth this many packs of smokes. Why not? So we go do that. I swear I have a photo of my humidor. There must be $2,000 or $3,000 worth of cigars in it. It's nuts. It was many years ago though. I smoked all those good ones. So we go out and we'd be doing that, and then I started doing whiskey at the time. I'm not quite sure how we got into it. I was just drinking regular whiskey, and I developed like a taste for it. So we go into the LCBO, and he'd always heard about like scotches and stuff. He didn't know anything about it, but he, you know, he watched movies all the time. He was a bit of a cinephile. He loved movies. You know, I've always got a character drinking an expensive scotch. So we went into the LCBO, and you know, the first woman he sees her, he's like, "Oh, love, come here, come here. What's the most expensive drink that you've got here?" Right? I think that she herself was a bit of a connoisseur, certainly more than I was at the time. So her eyes lit up, and she's like, "Oh my God, like, all right, come back here." So she's showing us these whiskeys and these scotches and the bourbons and the ryes and all that, and the bottles are getting progressively more expensive. At that time, we were doing a lot of Lagavulin. Lagavulin, it's a scotch. It's about $180 a bottle now, Canadian. That time was about $140. So it's an expensive bottle of scotch. There was that. There was the Oban. There was Ardbeg. There was a ton that we were doing. You got your Glenfiddiches and things like that. So she gives us like a $200 bottle. It's gorgeous. I don't know. It may have been like a Glenfiddich or something. So we get to the front. She calls us back. She goes, no, wait. I have one more. It's under lock and key. And this is North Bay, so you don't get a lot of that. You know, if you're in a bigger city like a Toronto or in Guelph or Kitchener or something like that, you know what I mean? You're going to have a bigger LCBO. Up here, you don't have as much. So she opens this up. It's a Glenmorangie. Now, I didn't know anything about Glenmorangie at the time. It's like a $350 bottle of scotch. This was insane. It's so impressive. It's got like the award-winning box that comes on, the Signet version. You open it up and the top becomes a stand for the bottle. To this day, that was the smoothest I'd ever had. It was like 45%. Oh my God. It was like water in a good way. Like you could chug that stuff. He's losing his mind. He's like, oh my God, boy. Oh my fucking God, boy. Look at this. $300 bottle of scotch. Are you fucking kidding me? So we ring that up. So like by this point, we've dropped like $800 on cigars and scotch. He's got his smokes. We go to the grocery store, buying like $50 steaks and stuff. I got a photo where we're just stacking $50 steaks. It's nuts. So we get home, and I got in shit from my mom recently for not talking about her enough on this channel. So Mom, if you're watching this, I do love you. Just, you know, traditionally we focused on, you know, just being nice and moody and having existential dread. Dealing with all the stupidity of the old man. Now we're trying to get into some more pleasant stories. My mom was not enthused with this though, so we would get home and she saw everything. She saw the big dumb grin on his head, and she's like, "How much did you fucking spend?" He's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." Like we're in like $1,500 on like steaks and scotches and cigars. Oh my God! And that wasn't a one-time thing. That was like every month. That was a ritual. God, he loved doing that. He was oddly generous at times, especially with me. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So it kind of helped start this. Oh man. And there's other things. I got a video out that we were talking about, the scratch tickets and stuff, and I don't know if that one's getting posted or when that one's going up or if I'll redo it. It's hard to say. There's just so many silly little things like that we would get up to, that he would get up to, and again, like he needed that, you know. He's just a wild man. Crazy.